Everyone, good morning. Today is 1st of July and I welcome you to the Hindu newspaper analysis discussion. So in the video, we'll discuss the entire analysis of Hindu and we'll take all the articles with the background. And you can also download the synoptic notes of this session from our Telegram group, and the link for the Telegram channel is given in description box in YouTube. Now, first of all, let's take the overview of entire newspaper so that we can understand that which are the important articles here. So guys, first of all, after high drama, Biren drops his resignation plan. So this was with respect to the resignation of the Chief Minister of Manipur because of the ongoing issues, controversy, that the conflicts and clashes that are going on. Now, no need to go too much in detail in these particular articles. Okay. Then further, moving on, Stalin disregards letter. So this issue is with respect to the recent decision taken by the governor of Tamil Nadu to dismiss one of our minister. Will take, because on editorial line also there is one article which talks about the scope of constitutional power for the governor. Then further we have the advertisements. Youth looking beyond jobs and are filing patents, founding startups, prime minister. Okay, so basically the prime minister had noted this particular thing, that there are 45 Indian universities that have come into the QS World University ranking, okay, which is an improvement. Fine. Then further moving on, after that in regional section, we largely have the regional issues, okay, law and order related issues, developmental issues, advertisements, etc. Nothing much important is given in this particular section for the sake of our examination. So we'll directly reach to editorial page, and in editorial, we have the first article, governor's move is dangerous. So this article is talking again on that governor issue in the context of Tamil Nadu. Will take. Then the side article, misadventure, again on the same topic. So we will combine these two articles and we'll see what important things have come. Then a new chapter in India Africa ties. We'll see this particular article also with respect to the examination. Then the side article, T.S. Singhdev's elevation in Chhattisgarh expands the Congress's reach. Okay, the article, guys, doesn't contain much of a substance, a political article, so no need to go too much in detail here. Then further moving on, we have the ground zero report, sacred hymns, political games. Okay, so basically the article talks about the Punjab government which has passed a bill to broadcast the telecast of Gurbani from the Golden Temple. Okay, now basically in this particular article, the political stakes, Aam Aadmi Party, Congress, BJP, find what political issues have come out of that. All those particular things have been given. For exam, much important substance is not given, so I'll not recommend you to go too much in this detail. Then in talk with Putin, Modi calls for dialogue and diplomacy. We'll take this particular article. Then here we have an article that is India backs 2016 ruling favoring the Philippines in South China Sea. We'll take this particular article. Okay. Then further moving on, center invites ideas from public to curb tomato prices. Okay, so we see this thing that the food inflation has increased a lot, and in this particular direction, even the even the tomato prices have also become a concern. So this is all going on. However, you are not required to really go in this particular article's detail. Okay, then further moving on, after that, we have here one important article, breaking taboo, women hitch up sarees and play kabaddi for liberation. So as a case study, we'll take this particular article. Then further moving on, Macron urges parents to keep teens at home as government combats rioting. So recently we have seen that in a police firing, a 17-year-old kid has died, and then there are these crises going on. No need to follow that. Okay. Then after that, Pakistan gets a lifeline from IMF with a new $3 billion bailout to help avoid default. So we see that in the context of Pakistan also, the economic crisis is unfolding, particularly after the flooding that happened in Pakistan 1 year back, and then food inflation that has increased. Then the economic prospects of Pakistan got disturbed after the COVID-19 also. So IMF is giving a bailout package. Similarly, the bailout package has been given by IMF to the Sri Lanka also. Okay, then on business page, core sector growth at 4.3%. Okay, then guys, largely we have the corporate trends, etc., which are there. Okay, and then we have the sports page. We don't today have the science page and text and context page. Why? Because it is Saturday, and on Saturday text and context and science page doesn't come. So these two pages contains some, most of the times, really good articles, particularly text and context, but it is not there today. Okay, so this is all about it. And now guys, let's discuss all the relevant articles one by one in detail. So in every class, we start with the GS quotation. So today we'll take the quotation from Bernie Sanders, who says that a nation will not serve morally or economically when so few have so much while so many have so little. Okay, the cause of concern here is rampant inequality. Till the time the nation will not be able to eradicate inequality, the nation's moral progress will not happen, because there are the islands of prosperity and then there is the vast sea of poverty. So when these two things will exist side by side, social justice will not come. And if social justice will not come, empowerment will not come. If empowerment will not come, democracy's spirit will not be fulfilled. Okay, moral development will not happen. So inequality is to be eradicated, most importantly. So this is about the quotation. And now let's start with the first article for today. Okay, so the first article, Center to issue norms against dark patterns in online advertisements. Okay, this is the first article. I think we missed it in overview, but okay, this is the first article that we are going to take it. Now, first of all, where this particular article will be important. This article will see with respect to the GS paper number 4, applied GS paper number 4, ethics of advertising. Ethics of advertising. Then GS paper number 2, consumer rights and related issues. These are the two places, consumer rights and related issues and ethics of advertisement. There we'll take this particular article. Now, first of all, let's understand that what this, first of all, let's understand the context of this particular article. So basically, guys, when we talk about advertising, today the advertising becomes a potent tool which is used often by the companies to influence the people, to change the beliefs of the people, as well as to condition the positive attitudes in the people towards a particular product that they are endorsing, a particular product that they are advertising. Okay, now often these advertisements, they go into those they go into controversial themes as well. Let me give you one example. For example, last year, Central Consumer Protection Authority, CCPA, Central Consumer Protection Authority, issued a notification where they said this particular thing, that nowadays many of the advertisings are actually oriented towards the children, because children's, they can easily be influenced, and one child can change the buying behavior of the entire family. So children oriented advertisements, for example, they will be showing the sugary drinks, they will be showing certain products which are the milk based products, and specifically they target the children. Such things are not morally correct. Okay, moreover, many number of times the celebrities are endorsing the products which are harmful for the people's consumption. They are endorsing the tobacco products which are harmful. So due diligence should be done by the actor or a celebrity before he carries any advertisement. Advertisement should not be oriented towards the children. These notifications were issued last year by the CCPA. But now some other ethical issues have been taken up in advertisement by the government. Now, they are actually talking about the dark patterns in advertisement. Now, what are the dark patterns in advertisement? So basically, guys, there are many strategies which often the advertisers or often the companies use. For example, let me tell you, bait and switch. Bait and switch. Now, what is this bait and switch? Bait and switch. Now see, let's say you are scrolling the Facebook or Instagram, and you see the advertisement of for a t-shirt which is very quirky in design, which is very funny in design, or you like that particular design, and there it is written that this t-shirt is just 49 rupees. Now you get really excited, you click on that particular link, you reach to a particular website, and there you find that that exact t-shirt which was 49 rupees is actually sold out, and the similar t-shirts are there, but actually their price is, let's say, 300, 400, 500 rupees. This is the bait and switch. They throw a bait that they showed a kind of a sold out product to you, and which was priced very cheaply. They brought you on their website and now they are showing you the different products. This is the bait and switch. It is a dark pattern advertisement. This is a misleading advertisement. Why? Because you clicked to buy a particular t-shirt that was 49 rupees, but that was not there. Okay, and it is actually sold out from the very start. It is just to attract the people. It is a dark pattern in advertising. Then there are many other things also. For example, creating false urgency. Creating false urgency. Now, many number of times the websites or the advertisements, they say that if you want to buy this product at this particular price, you have to buy it in 24 hours. Sale ending. Okay, unlock 25 code. Use this code for buying a UPSC subscription, and sale is ending in 24 hours. You very well know. So these are creating false urgency advertisements. Okay, confirm shamming. Confirm shamming. Now, often these things, what they do, confirm shamming, is to put you in a sense of guilt by exploiting your emotional vulnerability. For example, if you don't buy this particular product, you are not a responsible person. If you don't do this thing, you are not a concerned father. If you don't do this thing, you are not a concerned mother. So often the advertisements, they are forcing a particular set of people that if you don't do this or if you don't buy our product, you are irresponsible, you are insensitive, and all such kind of things happen. Okay, confirm shamming. Okay. For example, if you are not buying our subscription for UPSC, CSE, fine, you are not a serious aspirant, fine. So putting the people in emotional guilt by showcasing such kind of messages. Then forced action, okay. Subscription traps. Okay, now what is a subscription trap? Many number of times it is very much easy to take a subscription of a service, but it is very much difficult to cancel that subscription. Every month money is being deducted from your credit card or from your UPI, and you don't know how to cancel a subscription. So these are the subscription traps. Many other ways are also there. Okay, so these are some of the dark patterns in the advertising. Okay, and these dark patterns are needed to be controlled, and for that particular thing the government has decided that they will issue the specific guidelines to control them, and that particular thing will be done in order to ensure the protection of the consumer under the Consumer Right Protection Act. Okay, secondly, it is also to control these unethical things. As of now, guidelines have not come, but government will come with the guidelines in this particular direction, and whenever they will come, we'll see this particular thing. Okay, so basically I have given that false urgency creates a sense of scarcity and forces you to make a purchase. Okay, basket sneaking. What is basket sneaking? Now, basket sneaking is a technique where some additional product will be added to your basket. For example, now one of a version of a basket sneaking is that whenever you order, let's say, a beauty product from a website, okay, I'll not take the name, but that website starts from N. They put a free gift. They put a free gift which you have not ordered. In a way, they are giving you this free gift that you use it, and if you like it, you order it again. Fine. So, but you have not given a consent that whether you can add it or not. Okay. So, basket sneaking, adding certain products without asking your consents, all these particular things are to be controlled. Okay. So, this is about it. Fine. I hope that you have understood it. Okay. So, that is all about it. And now, moving to the next article. Breaking taboo, women hitch up sarees and play kabaddi for liberation. So this issue we'll see with respect to the GS paper number 1 and GS paper number 2, women related issues. Women related issues this article will take. Now, first of all, let me give you the context. So basically, guys, understand this particular thing that there are particular women living in villages, living in rural areas, particularly the women who either have been divorced or the women who are widow, the women who are abandoned. Now, these women are discarded from the society. They are often discriminated in a lot of things. Often good treatment, nice treatment would not be given to these women, and these women forget that how the joys look like, how the fun looks like. Okay, and many number of times in India we see this particular thing that there are the patriarchal setup, and in the patriarchal setup women are always supposed to stay within indoors. Okay, their liberties are substantially fettered once they have particularly get married. Now, in this particular direction, there are these two of the organizations which are doing really good work in the villages of Maharashtra. One is this Committee of Resource Organization, Coro, and other is Ekal Mahila Sangathan. Ekal Mahila Sangathan. Now these two NGOs are organizing the kabaddi matches for the women, and women in sarees, women in salwar kameez or in the traditional attires, they are coming and they are participating in these particular matches. Okay, and particularly by this particular thing, the marginalized women, okay, they are again trying to enjoy some fun and joy in their life. So particularly the article provides that in the Marathwada region, widows, single women, women who are divorced, abandoned by their family, they often face this social ostracization. Even the women who are not abandoned, patriarchal norms restrict the women's mobility. They are always expected to be confined with their homes and always to act as a caregiver, always to act as a mother, fine, and all such kind of capacities. They are not allowed to participate in any type of festivities. Okay, and particularly the widow women, okay, single women, they are often even considered as inauspicious. So giving them opportunity to participate in these playful activities is an opportunity to make them realize the joy. Okay, so this is one important example that can be used in our social issues. Okay, obviously a one full length answer question will not come, but as a case study you can put it. Okay, that is all about it. Fine. Now, moving on to the next article. India backs 2016 ruling favoring the Philippines in South China Sea. Okay, so this photograph is courtesy of the print. Okay, now let's understand basically this particular issue. This issue will understand with respect to the GS paper number 2, international relation, India and South Asia, Southeast Asia. There will take this particular article. First of all, let's understand some of the basic things. So, first basic things that you need to understand, guys. This is China, okay, and here we have the South China Sea. And within South China Sea, there are many islands. For example, Paracel Islands lies in the South China Sea. There is the there is this Paratas Island that is there. Okay, then there is this Senkaku Island. On the Senkaku Island, the dispute between China and Japan is also going on. Okay, then there is a Scarborough Shoal, fine, just on the brink of 9-dash line. Then there is this Macclesfield Bank, Spratly Islands. Okay, so these are some of the islands that lie in the South China Sea. And then you see this red color line that is going on, fine, this red color line that is going on. Now this is the 9-dash line. This line is the 9-dash line. Okay, now China 9-dash line. Now the China claims that entire South China Sea within the 9-dash line, it belongs to the China's exclusive economic zone. China's exclusive economic zone, which actually violates the United Nations Convention on the Law of Seas. United Nations Convention on the Law of the Seas. So United Nations Convention on the Law of the Seas provides that area till 200 nautical miles, area will till from your coast till 200 nautical mile area will be the exclusive economic zone of a country. And if a country wants, then the country will have the economic rights with respect to the minerals even that are found in that particular region. Okay, so the economic rights over that region will be of the country only. Now understand this particular thing. Here we have, for example, the Philippines. Here we have Philippines. Here we have Vietnam. Okay, now understand this particular thing, that this particular region will also belong to Vietnam. It will also belong to the Philippines. Yes, it will belong to the China also, but Philippines also have the concerns. Vietnam also have the interest in this particular region. They say that it will also be coming under our exclusive economic zone, because till 200 nautical miles we also have the right. But China doesn't recognizes the right of these countries, particularly Philippines, and China has a big dispute on this particular thing going on. In 2013, okay, let me show you. So basically what happened in 2013, Philippines also filed a case against the China in the permanent court of arbitration, that is in the Hague. Why the Philippines filed case against the China? Because Philippines said that the China is not following the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Seas. It has been provided that China is not recognizing the portion of South China Sea which actually belongs to the Philippines. Okay, the Philippines EEZ is not being recognized by the China. So they filed a case Okay, and actually what happened in 2016, the court ruled in the favor of Philippines and said that yes, you rightfully have the part of the South China Sea which comes in your exclusive economic zone. But China rejected this particular ruling. China said that we don't recognize it, and China rejected this particular ruling. Since then, Philippines and China are in a dispute with respect to the South China Sea. Now, this is what already happened. Now, guys, presently, what is going on? Presently, the China has come out with a proposal, and China says this particular thing that the ASEAN region, China has come out with this particular thing that the ASEAN region doesn't have any conduct rules for the South China Sea. They say that South China Sea is a very important strategic waters. We don't have rules. Let's come together and let's find or let's finalize the rules. So China wants to complete the rules for the South China Sea, and in that 11 countries are being invited by the China. Now, Philippines say this particular thing that you are trying to create the new rules for the 11 countries, fine, that is the 10 countries of ASEAN and China. You are creating the rules for the countries, but what about the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Seas? Already UN clause defines the rules. You are not following the defined rules by the UN clause. You rejected the the verdict in 2016, and now you are talking that let's create the rules. Okay, so what double standards these are? Philippines is concerned with this particular thing. Now, right now, guys, we have seen this particular thing that between the India and the Philippines, also the military cooperation talks were going on, and we have seen this particular thing also that basically Mr. Enrique Manalo, okay, which is the foreign basically uh, which is the Secretary of Foreign Affairs, which is the Secretary of Foreign Affairs of Philippines. He visited India also, and he brought the same thing. Okay, the Foreign Affairs Secretary, he brought the same thing that the China is proposing a new set, but they are not recognizing the UN clause, where India has also supported the Philippines concern. Okay, so this is, guys, that is going on now. This particular new mechanism that they want to build, in this new mechanism they want to discuss the rules that are to be observed if there is a collision in the South China Sea between the two vessels, let's say vessel of China, let's say vessel of Philippines. If collision happens, how that particular thing will be taken up, how to deal with the third parties, fine. If whether the code that they will define will be legally binding or not, if legally binding, and if still someone is not following it, then what to be done, all these things are to be finalized. Is it clear or not? So they are coming out with this. So this is one of a development where you can put that how China, as a attempt of establishing regional hegemony, they are establishing their own rules, own conduct rules, but not recognizing the UN clause established rules. Okay, sir, please describe 9-dash line. 9-dash line is nothing but an imaginary line, imaginary area that has been created by China within the South China Sea, and they claim that this entire region belongs to the China's EEZ, exclusive economic zone. So this red line is 9-dash line, which China claims. Then coming to the next article, the governor's move is dangerous, unconstitutional, and then there is this one article, misadventure. Both of these articles are talking on the same theme, that is the recent issue when the governor of Tamil Nadu has dismissed one of a minister and how it is unconstitutional. So this issue we'll see with respect to the GS paper number 2, federal issues, as well as the issues related to the office of governor. Federal issues and the issues related to the office of governor. Okay. Now, first of all, guys, let me give you basically the idea of this particular development. So what has happened recently? Recently, the governor of Tamil Nadu dismissed V. Senthil Balaji, which is one of a minister without the portfolio in Tamil Nadu. Now, governor dismissed this particular minister, but no approval from the chief minister or no approval from the council of minister was taken. Now, after this, the governor backtracked the order, kept the dismissal at abeyance. Okay, backtracked the order, kept the dismissal at abeyance. But this has become a big political controversy, and the controversy is coming on this particular basis that how governor can do this particular thing. because governor doesn't have the power, governor doesn't has a discretion to dismiss any of the minister without the recommendation given by the chief minister. Okay, so basically these particular things we are going to see. Now, it has been said that this particular thing might set a dangerous precedent. Other governors also will follow this particular thing. Now, guys, already understand this particular thing that the office of governor has become controversial, particularly in the case of the states which are being ruled by the different political parties than the center, because governor is often called as the agent of the center by the many political contestants. Okay, now understand this particular thing that when we talk about the governor's office, there is article 164 in the constitution. Article 164 says that the chief minister is appointed by the governor, okay, without any advice from anyone. However, even the chief minister should be that person who is the leader of the largest party, okay, and having the majority in the house. But after that, all the other individual all the other individual ministers are appointed by the governor only on the advice of chief minister. So article 164 implies that the individual ministers are being chosen by the chief minister's discretion, not the governor's discretion. So as governor cannot appoint individual ministers on his own discretion, how he can remove them? The removal also the governor cannot do. If governor has to remove, then the removal can only be done on the advice of the chief minister as per the logic of article 164 of the constitution. But in this case, that did not happen. So it was a constitutional mistake that was committed by the governor. Now, when we see, guys, basically the office of governor, we borrowed largely from the Government of India Act 1935. And in the Government of India Act 1935, during the colonial rules, governor was given the absolute discretion to choose a minister as well as to dismiss the minister. Obviously, the government during the 1930 during the colonial rule was not representative. So governor was given a lot of power. He can choose a minister, can dismiss the minister at the will. That particular thing happened. But post independence, when we adopted our own constitution, we dropped this particular thing. And even Dr. B.R. Ambedkar very specifically provided in the Constituent Assembly that there is no executive function which a governor can perform independently under the Constitution. So every executive function the governor has to follow, it is on the basis of the advice given by the chief minister and the council of minister. Okay. Now, even Article 164, it has not it didn't had any mention of the word chosen, dismissal, discretion. The point is that all the ministers that are being chosen, there is no discretion. Fine, there is no possibility that he can dismiss these particular ministers. Okay, and the same thing has even been upheld by the Supreme Court also. For example, Shamsher Singh versus State of Punjab case of 1974. So here a 7-judge constitution bench of Supreme Court very clearly provided that both president as well as governor shall exercise the functions as per the advice that is tendered by the council of minister and prime minister at the level of center, chief minister at the level of the state. So they are bound by the advice that will be given. They cannot act independently. And the same thing was confirmed again in the Nizam Rabia case. Okay. So the point that comes here in this particular direction, that the decision or action taken by the governor here was ultra virus and cannot be supported in any capacity. Okay, and these particular things can well establish a wrong precedent. Okay, then moving to the next article, a new chapter in India-Africa ties can be written. A new chapter in India-Africa ties can be written. Now, this particular article will see with respect to the GS paper number 2, India-Africa relation. India-Africa relations. So basically, guys, when we talk about the India-Africa relations, so Africa is a continent of opportunities. Okay, so we have rising India and aspiring Africa. Okay, Africa being the continent of opportunities, and since in the past 2000 into the past 15 years and particularly in the past 9 years since 2014, India Africa relations have developed particularly in a very good pace, in a very good direction. And recently what has happened, there is this one think tank, that is the Africa Expert Group. This Africa expert group has recently published a report, and the report is India-Africa Partnership Achievement Challenges and Roadmap 2023. Now, this particular report has identified certain low-hanging fruits for India with vis-a-vis Africa. How India can leverage certain things to cultivate even more deeper relations with Africa. Okay, so basically the report first of all says this particular thing, that there are a lot of transitions that are unfolding in Africa. For example, there are the demographic transitions that are unfolding. The more and more young people are there which will join the workforce in Africa. So the demographic transition profile, people's profile, population profile is changing. Economic changes are coming, political changes are coming, social changes are coming. Okay, political changes, for example, the democracy movements have become more strong. Okay, social changes are coming. Okay, the superstition, the old habits, old customs are being abandoned, and the liberalism, democratic order is getting embraced even in the people. Okay, but at the same time, there are also the concerns also that are there in Africa. First of all, the adverse impact of the COVID-19, which has impacted the economy of Africa. Then the geopolitics. Okay, there are the non-state actor, terrorist groups. Okay, often there are many of the leaders. Often there are many of the leaders who try to assume the dictatorial powers. So these are some of the challenges of non-state actors, and geopolitical challenges also that are coming because of the uh, different interests that are there. Then guys, at the same time, when we talk about the countries such as Ethiopia, Sudan, and Central African Republic countries, they are also battling with insurgency, ethnic violence, terrorism. Okay, now India should interfere, India should participate in these things and should reform. But at the same time, China is the one which is taking lead. We have seen that since 2007, now guys, this is a very important point to be noted. Since 2007, Chinese leader has visited Africa 123 times. They have visited Africa 123 times, and 251 African leaders they have visited China since 2007. But at the same time, when we talk about India's participation, it might not be like that. So we need to enhance, we need to up our game. Now, the roadmap 2030 that has been proposed between India and Africa, it focuses on 60 policy recommendations which will deepen the relation. But some of the most important areas that are given in this report, we have summarized here. So what are these important points? Number one, political and diplomatic cooperation should be strengthened. Political and diplomatic cooperation should be strengthened. There needs to be more summit level meets. There need to be more visits by the state leaders. African leaders should be invited in India, and Indian leaders should visit the Africa. Moreover, there is also the Africa Forum Summit. Africa Forum Summit, that was our regular meet between India and Africa. And this Africa Forum Summit, last summit was held in 2015. And post 2015, no such meet has held. So more diplomatic and political cooperation is needed. Then on defense and security cooperation is needed. Now understand this thing. We need to open up more the defense attaches. Okay, basically we need to establish more overseas offices of the Ministry of Defense, fine, which will help in bringing the peace in those countries. We need to give them more security cooperation should be there. For example, we are giving the line of credit to Philippines so that they can buy the patrolling vessels. In the same way, some weaponry, in the same way, some of the capacity building in the forces of these nations should be done by India. Okay, we need to deploy, or other defense issues need to be taken up. Then the next issue that comes here is that the economic cooperation. So India-Africa trade was around $98 billion in financial year 22-23, which is good, but still it is less compared to what the potential is. And the last is, we need to enhance the links between universities, think tanks, civil societies between India and Africa, which will help to understand the socio-cultural issues between both the countries and will be able to connect with more and more. Okay, so this is all about this particular thing. And then guys, the next one more thing we need to understand is that a close cooperation and collaboration is needed between India's Ministry of External Affairs and National Security Council Secretariat. Okay, so that collectively the issues concerning with the Africa could be taken up in a better way. So these are all the concerns that are coming. And guys, with respect to the India and Africa, these are the ready-made points that can be added to your answer if you are writing any answer on India Africa. Okay, and then we have this article, in talk with Putin, Modi calls for dialogue and diplomacy to end war in Ukraine. Now, first of all, guys, you are not required to go too much in detail in this particular article. There are just few basic things that have happened. So we have seen that recently the Prime Minister of India visited US. And after coming back from the USA, the Prime Minister had given a telephonic call to Mr. Putin, the President of Russia. And he has discussed the prospects with respect to the Russia-Ukraine war, and has asked the Prime Minister, the Prime Minister of India has asked the Putin that please try to ensure that how the peace can be brought in this Russia-Ukraine conflict. Moreover, also the Russia will be participating in the virtual summit of Shanghai Cooperation Organization that is scheduled to be held on July 4th. Then for G20 meet, BRICS meet, the leaders will be meeting. So basically, the Prime Minister has conveyed the concerns with respect to the Russia-Ukraine war, and we should search for the peace as early as possible. So these are certain things that have come out. Fine. Again, guys, no need to move too much in detail. They have discussed the schedule that, okay, SU meet July 4, virtual meet will happen, then G20, then there will be the BRICS, then G20, all these summits will happen. Okay. But for policy point, okay, policy point, all etc. is not that much there. So no need to go too much in detail in this article. Okay. This is all. And then we have the mains practice question for today. So guys, today being Saturday, so usually the Saturday's paper, as it doesn't contain text and context, science page is also not there, and on one section, one page of editorial also, fine, it doesn't contain much of important articles. So these are all the major things that we have in the today's newspaper. And question for today, India's partnership is based on the principle of equality, mutual respect and benefit, in line with Africa-owned and Africa-led development. Analyze. So this will be a GS paper number 2, 10 marker question. Okay, so this is all, guys, and now we'll meet on Monday. Till then, please take care of yourselves. Thank you so much, guys. Sunday, please keep it as a day of revision, revising the entire week's current affairs, even the GS, whatever you have done in your coaching, or if you're doing self-study. So that is all about it, and now we'll meet on